I was chatting with somebody yesterday, and on our call, they had an epiphany. And so I want to just share that moment with you, and hopefully a light bulb will go off for you too. They were looking to hire somebody who is going to do social media content for them. They'll go through and have an hour-long video or a podcast, and then every day something drips, right, on Instagram, Facebook, all those good fun things. So he wanted to take the video and give it to the virtual assistant and then have them cut up the areas and make the social media graphics, which was perfect, right? And so I said, okay, absolutely. Not an issue. You're just going to have to explain to them what's important and what's not, right? Because when you're listening to an hour-long video, you're going to realize what the golden nuggets are, but they're not necessarily going to realize. And so the first couple of times you have to give feedback, right? So you can say to them, and ideally this is what you would want to do. You would want to go through the first hour-long video yourself and put timestamps on where you think it's important. And then you want to tell them, preferably in a video, you don't need to be typing all this out, right? Your time is super valuable, but you want to tell them why this clip is important or why this is a good teaser for an upcoming podcast episode, or why is this a good testimonial? And then let them go try it, give them a different video, and they're going to get it wrong, right? They're going to get close, or they're not even going to get even somewhere close. And you're going to have to be a little bit patient and say, okay, let me back up. And okay, we wouldn't pick this clip because it's not a full sentence. We missed some context in the beginning or whatever the reason is. And so if you can do that for a couple of times, they're going to pick up on it. And what's going to happen is you're never going to have to check that again, pretty much. You're going to be able to hand that process off and they're going to know. And what actually happened was this gentleman had some Canva templates and he had given this virtual assistant the process, and she learned it so well that she had actually came back to him a couple months later and said, hey Don, I actually created something better. So I went into Canva and I did this instead of the template you gave me. Is that okay? And he looked at it and went, oh my gosh, this is like better than I ever could have done myself. How did you do that? And she's like, oh, I watched some YouTube videos on Canva. And what you'll find is as you explain to your virtual assistants what you're looking for and give them feedback of what's good and what's bad and explain to them what you're looking for, it'll click and they'll go out and they'll make your process better. This has happened time after time again in my business. I'll come up with an idea and I'm like, okay, hey, I think this is great. And they'll go out and they'll implement the idea. And then a couple months later, they'll come back and they'll be like, Michelle, there's a hole here. It would be so much faster if we did this instead. And I'm like, oh my gosh, do that instead. I didn't even know. So they're naturally going to take your process, learn what you want, and then make it better. But you must have patience in the beginning. You must provide feedback. You must be kind, but also let them know, hey, this is why this doesn't work. This is what I'm looking for. And if you can do that and train them to think like you think for what you're looking for, they will take your process and they will make it 100 times better, I promise you. So slow down in the beginning so you can go so much faster later on. Thanks so much, guys. Talk to you in the next video.